I'm wondering whether it's right to think that there are people who are born geniuses that seem to be able to process things in such a way that it sets them apart. God,
that was good.
You know, I mean, I've long thought of myself as a genius.
You
I just
wanted
want
that
you to
one,
say
don't you?
yes, you
I
are.
always wanted to say that on camera.
Yeah, I
and
have.
just-
No, okay. But, so do you think there are people who actually, yes, they are born with some sort of function that happens in their brain or their body that says this sets them apart
Absolutely.
from everybody else?
Absolutely.
Do you?
I think that there are kids who have skills beyond what other kids their age have. Now, does that come out of their fascination with words or numbers, their obsession with words or numbers? They want to do it night and day, or does it come from a special ability being implanted in them? Maybe some of both. I don't know. I love the motivational explanation. But does that predict who's going to be a genius later? Very poorly.
Yeah, it does.
Many of these kids who are prodigies don't go anywhere special, and many of the kids who looked fairly ordinary, Thomas Edison, for example, really, by dint of their passion and their obsession, become the geniuses later on. So,
But Sir James's question was, do you think some people are born geniuses? And
could be. I don't rule
not,
that out.
Okay.
No, not at all.
But it's not a route map then to later eminence.
Not at all.
So
That-
some people are perhaps born with a
Predisposition.
genetic predisposition.
To be fascinated by or captured by.
Okay, but not to be a genius, but perhaps to be fascinated by a certain domain.
Perhaps. And maybe they do. I don't know
Yeah.
whether they have special abilities that they come with. But that's not the question.
But it does seem to me that there are children, let's say, who go into a nursery and they're just 3 years old, and there are some children who are able to remember in very great detail things that you tell them, and others in 1
3
year.
years is a lot of development, though, isn't
Exactly.
it? It's
Yes.
a
Is it
huge
enough
amount.
to make
Yes.
that big
Oh,
difference?
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I was
A lot of seconds and minutes that have gone.
not long ago. I was on a TV news magazine show that we have in America, 2020.
Ah.
And it was a show on child geniuses. Who were these child geniuses and what did they do? One of them could, the parent could point to a state in the United States and she could say the capital. And another could do things like that. Any child could memorize. That's not exotic thinking or concept
Creative.
formation, creativity, analytic prowess. Any child could learn.
Could be trained.
If you
Any
drilled them
dog
night
could
and
be,
day.
yeah.
Any dog could bark a certain number of times when you point to Minnesota. So,
And yet, as children, we look at that because it's exceptional for their age.
Yes.
But at no other point in our lifespan do we look at someone and say, he at 42 is exceptional for his age with what he can do.
Yeah.
They're having to do something innovatively different to change the domain beyond that,
yeah,
isn't there?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if then it's fluid, this idea of genius, then that must mean the flip side, it's fluid in terms of special needs. That if you could be a genius or seem to be a genius now, that doesn't necessarily mean you will stand out as a genius later. Then presumably that must mean the same if you are dyslexic, for
Yes.
example, or you have special needs now. But isn't that dangerous to give the message that if only you try and work hard, you could get out of it?
I
Get
agree
out of
with
it,
that,
because
yeah.
then, let's say they get to 20 and they think, but I'm still dyslexic.
Yeah.
Therefore, I mustn't have tried hard enough.
And it's not
Therefore,
a
it's
matter.
me to blame.
It's not a matter for some of these kids. Maybe their brains are wired differently. Maybe the verbal center is not as well connected to the visual decoding center. And just to say, try harder, that's not my message. They can try really hard, but they need the guidance and they need the strategies.
And every child, whether he's got some kind of an attentional problem, any kind of special learning need, any child, in my estimation and experience, is going to do better with development if the people working with him have a growth mindset and help him to achieve a growth mindset.
And isn't it interesting that the world of high achievement is apparently disproportionately littered with people with
Yes.
dyslexic type difficulties who've struggled all their damn childhood?
And now
The
are the
Erin Brockoviches
CEOs
of this world,
of-
and
yeah.
the Jamie Olivers, and who know it's about graft and struggle and not finding
Yeah.
things easy.
Yeah.